It's your girl Mimi, you know how it is, and whatever we do it good, period, too. So, today is a story time. A lot of people have been waiting for the story time, and I was gonna do it when I get home with the person I'm gonna be talking about, but seems like I'm not going home for the rest of the year. So what better time to do it than now? Ha! Okay, so I'm gonna be talking to you guys about my soul tie and how I got over it and how long it took me to get over the soul tie, because that stuff ain't easy to break, y'all. That's on period. But I want to thank God because I managed to get over it, and him and I are now really cool people. We still talk, we still converse, we still friends. See, I have no bad blood with any of my exes. I'm still friends with all of my exes. I don't believe in the whole never talk to your exes BS. Like, it's anywho. So I was literally just going through the messages from anyways, okay. Okay, so I was 13 when I met this gentleman, and I was in high school. Obviously, I was in my first year of high school, and he was in his 4th year of high school. So the thing is, he was 2 years older than I am, but I was a grade behind the people my age. So in my stream, I was over age. Because in Zimbabwe, we do this whole thing where if you're born in the later years of the year, the later months of the year, you sort of like go to the grade that's behind, if that makes sense. So that's how it works back home. So he was 2 years older. So he was in the 4th year of high school. I was in my 1st year of high school. So we met at a church function, yeah? And then I went ahead and I'm like, ooh, this is a cute boy. I'm gonna look for his number. So my cousin had his number. So I asked my cousin for his number and I got his number. We started talking. We really bonded, like we really clicked. So we were talking, and then boom, it's a relationship. We were in that relationship for 3 years. Okay, we were in a relationship for 3 years, and then we broke up. Yeah, so during the relationship, there's a lot of things that used to happen, good and bad. Some of it was he would just ghost me out of nowhere, but I thought nothing of it, yeah, because I was like, no, like we can go through this. It's okay. Like, he's just going through something. He's gonna come back. So that was when I sort of allowed what I'm gonna talk about later on. Okay, so he comes through, and we break up. Yeah, we break up. Literally in 3 years, we saw each other 4 times. Imagine telling that to like someone who's of this generation. See your boyfriend 4 times in 3 years. That's crazy. Anywho, but we had such a great emotional bond. Like, our emotional bond was deeper than like the valley and the ocean, you know? So, fast forward to when I left for boarding school. So I left for boarding school. Well, I was in boarding school in the 3rd year of high school. So I couldn't talk to him. I couldn't be like, oh, look, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 because we broke up close to the day of opening. So I went straight to boarding school, and I couldn't be like, oh, I'm sorry, blah, 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 and get us back together. So literally, when I went back to school, I regretted every single thing I did. I was like, oh my goodness, that was so stupid. When I went back home after the school term, it was way too late. He had already like cut me off. He had canceled me already. So I tried to talk to him and be like, oh my goodness, like, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And then there's moments he would entertain me, and then there's moments he wouldn't entertain me. So I felt like there was so much hope in us being together, because he would entertain me sometimes. Like, at least he's giving me the time of day, you know? So I was like, no, I'ma hold on, yeah? And also because I had loved him so deep to like the last level, it wasn't easy for me to get over him, yeah? So I met other people, dated other people, got into relationships with other people, but my heart belonged to him. That was very cringe for me to say, but it is what it was, you know? And then in my
3 weeks later, months later,
in my 5th year of high school, we were talking, and then he ghosted me. Yeah, he stopped talking to me. I'm like, okay, bet. But I was aware of the fact that there's a lot of things that used to go on, blah, 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 blah. And he was just generally someone who just used to go through a lot of things. And I respected that. So every time he'd ghost me, I'd wait for him. Y'all ain't hear me. I would wait for him to come back. I would wait for him. I'd be like, no, it's okay. He's gone for a bit. He'll come back. Can you imagine that level of stupidity? Like, oh my God. Anyways, it's cool. So I'd wait for him to come back, and he would eventually come back, yeah. But he'd come back and be like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry for ghosting. Can we work things out? Blah, blah, blah. And I would give into it again, okay? Again. And I'd give into it, and I'd be like, yeah, bet, let's work it out. Let's talk about it. And we'd talk about it, and he'd be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna do better. Literally a week later, he ghosts me again. Again! Ah, my goodness! You know what, guys? I've never been this vulnerable on camera. I'm always talking about things that make you a better person. You who's watching, I'm always talking about, you know, things that could make your relationships better. But I'm opening up to you guys so you see where I come from when I tell you some of these things. It's not just from my brain and from my studies that I'm like, don't do this, don't do that. It's because I've experienced it firsthand. So I don't want you to experience the same thing that I've experienced. If I can stop you from doing that, oh honey, I'm gonna stop you from doing it. Anywho, back to the story. So, so in my 5th year of high school, at the end of the year, at church, we have this crossover service into the next year, yeah? So, I invited him. I was like, do you want to come? And he's like, yeah, sure, of course. So he comes through, and that felt magical. I was like, yes, I'm going back. I'm going back to the heart of my guy, right? Little did I know. But yeah, I was like, I'm going back, like, this is working, this is what I've always wanted. And you know, it was cute, it was sweet. The fact that he drove all the way from wherever he was, he could have been at his church. He could have been at his mama's church. He could have been at his sister's church, but he was in my church. I felt special. What you mean? I felt special. I'm like, I'm the girl. I am the girl, period. So he comes through, we cross over into the next year. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Oh my goodness, this is so sweet, blah, 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 blah. And then we have 10 days of prayer and fasting at the beginning of it every year. And then after that, he ghosted me. Again. Anywho, maybe it was due to unforeseen circumstances. Like, I can't judge because I don't know why he ghosted me. He'd never tell me the reason why he ghosted me. So he just come back and be like, I'm sorry I ghosted you, which is what he did when I came back from school. Now I'm in my 6th year of high school, yeah? It's been 6 years. Holding on to this dude. It's been 6 years, yeah? In my 6th year of high school, at the end of the year, same routine. I invite him, he comes through, we cross over into the next year, but the next year I was going to uni, yeah? So I came over to Australia, and we were talking at the beginning of the year. You know, we had a video call at the airport. He could have been at work. He could have been doing other things, but he was with his brother, I think, on that day, and he called me. He video called me, and he was like, oh my goodness, have a lovely year, and have a lovely semester. I'll see you when you come back. All this cute stuff. Y'all, tell me you wouldn't fall for that. Tell me you wouldn't fall for that. Put it in the comment section. Would you fall for that? Period. So I was like, ooh, I'm back with a banger, yay! But when I got to school, I would make sure I text him every day, but he was like, he felt really distant, so he ghosted. Again! Oh my god, I feel like a clown telling you guys the story. Anywho, so that was the first year of uni. I go back home in June. We meet up. Things re-sparkle again, and I'm like, we still have a chance, like, ooh. But then I got a boyfriend. And we dated until the end of the year. And then at the end of the year, on New Year's, I invited him again. Clown. But anyways, and he came through, was cute. cute, whatever. And then now we are in last year. Last year is when I realized that you can never hold on. You can hold on for so long to something you want, but if that person or that thing you're holding on to doesn't feel the same about whatever reasons you're holding on to it, it will never work. Yeah, I had created a soul tie with this person. It was deep, y'all. Like, we had never done anything physical, but my emotional like bond with him was so deep. Like, it was so deep. The way I loved him is like crazy, y'all. Like, how anyways, we'll talk about that later. So we get to last year. So at the beginning of the year, we're talking, we're cool, yeah. And then I come to school, he ghosts me as usual, boom, again. And then in June, I go back home. So in June, when I went back home, we met up a couple times. So his workplace is like 2 blocks away from my workplace in Zimbabwe. So we'd always like visit each other. Like, he'd come see me, I'd go see him, and every time I go to his workplace, all his workmates would hype us up and be like, "Oh, y'all, we see y'all," and I got big headed. I'm like, yes, I am the one. I am the one. So cool. Fast forward, literally the whole holiday, that's how it was. Would have days like a day in the life of Mimi, and like a day in the life of da-da-da-da-da. And it was so amazing. Like, this one time, we went to buy a dog together, and it was so cute. Maybe for him, it wasn't like that, like how I was thinking about it, because I had held on to him for so long. Maybe he didn't hold on to me for so long. Do you get what I mean? And that's the thing with like this relationship stuff. You need to know where you're at with the person you're at with. Fruit for thought. So fast forward, and then we get to July, when I have to go back to school. Yeah. So this June holiday was like cute, it was sweet, it was amazing, whatever. He'd call me every day, he'd make sure I'm okay. He would like, it was sweet. It was literally like, okay, now we are secure. And he told me, he's like, yeah, whatever. And then towards the end of the holiday, he's like, I think we're better off as friends. That's when I went home, I prayed, and I'm like, you know what, God, I'm done. Because, guys, I used to pray to God and be like, God, this is my husband. I think that's another reason. Like, we underestimate the power of prayer. And, like, when you pray like that, you know, something happens in the spiritual world, and you stop his life from moving forward because you're just being selfish. And I realized I was being selfish. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let this guy go. I'm gonna like allow him to do whatever. And I had a chat with him about it. I was like, you know what? I've been holding on to you for 9 years, and I think now it's time for me to let you go. Go ahead and do whatever you gotta do. I'm not gonna hold you against it. Not that I did before, because he never used to like ask for permission to like be with another girl or whatever, but it just wasn't working for the both of us. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let him go. Go ahead. So, stupid Mimi. And then, so after I let him go, quote unquote, I went to school. Yeah. But even after he's like, I think we should only be friends, we'd still talk, he'd still call me, whatever, and do all these sweet things, whatever. I thought nothing of it. So I come back to school, and we're still talking. Like, he'd still call me every day. I'd be up until 4 a.m. because he'd always get home really late from work. So I'd be up until like 4 a.m. just to talk to this dude. And I would put so much effort into it. I would be like, oh my goodness, like, I have to make sure I talk to him every day. And sometimes he'd call me like during the day at work because he didn't want to inconvenience me all the time, type of thing, which was really thoughtful. Sorry, I just rambled over there. Anywho, so sometimes he would call me during the day, sometimes he'd call me at nighttime, depending on his day and whatever. And then fast forward to August. Yeah, August, we get into August, and dude goes, you know what? I've been going up and down my whole life. I feel like I want to be the guy for you. I want everything to do with you, basically. And I was like, bro, I'm a lot to handle. He's like, I want to handle that much. The girl melted. She's like, oh yes. So I was gullible, because I had a very big soft spot for him. So I was super gullible, and I was like, you know what? Okay, cool. But I need to pray about this first. I need to consult God. So I prayed and fasted for a certain amount of time, and after that I got a revelation, and I told him, I'm like, this is what God is telling me this is what I figured out after praying and fasting. And he's like, oh no, that's okay. So basically, I wanted to focus more on myself and sort of like, because I had just sort of told myself to get over him. So for me to get back to where I had told myself not to be, sort of thing, was a bit stupid. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, let me just like do me for a bit, you know? So I told him, and he's like, it's okay, I'll be here. And I'm like, you don't have to wait. Yeah, you don't have to wait. You can do whatever it is you gotta do. I just let me know that you're not for this anymore, because right now you're telling me that you're gonna wait, but something else is gonna happen. He's like, no, don't worry, I'm here. Literally the next day he started being distant, and then 2 days later he ghosted me. So I was now scared. I'm like, shoot, no. Like, if I don't say yes to this dude, I'm gonna lose him forever again, and I don't want to do that. So guess what she did? She said yes. And on the day I said yes, I sent a long text message. Hold on. Let me try to look for it for y'all. I sent a long text message being like, yes, I do. I'll be the one for you. I will be, oh my goodness, y'all. No. I'm even shy to read this over to you guys. Anywho, so yeah, I accepted, and then guess what? He didn't reply. He opened it, and he didn't reply. Yeah, and then a week after that, I saw a picture on his Instagram with a girl, and I thought nothing of it, because I was like, he's just a person who has a lot of girlfriends and stuff, but I'm his main clown. And then some days after that, one of my friends who followed the girl he was with at the time, he sent me a screenshot. He's like, aren't you talking to this dude? And I'm like, and that's where it ended. So I didn't expect him to like come to me and ask for permission per se. I just expected him to be like, you know what, I'm not gonna wait for you. I'm gonna go ahead and do what I want to do with my life. I don't have time to be waiting for you, type of thing. Just that formality, just that like, because I was anywho, the moral of the story is, first of all, don't think what you're thinking is what the person you're with is also thinking. Always voice out how you feel. Always say it out. Be like, okay, I'm not okay with ABCD. I'm okay with ABCD. If something happens, make sure you talk about it. Because there's a lot of things that I internalized because I was so scared to lose him. I was so scared to leave because I love with my whole heart, my whole body, my whole everything. That's what I love with. And for him to sort of like do me dirty like this was really bad. But obviously this is my side of the story. I have nothing against him anymore. I did ask him if I could tell you guys this story, and he said it was okay. So yeah, him and I are gonna do a reflective video later on. We were supposed to do it like this holiday, but I didn't go back home because of COVID. So probably next year, which is a long way away, but that's when you guys are gonna know who it is. But him and I are cool now. We still haven't really like properly talked about it, but we did kind of talk about it. And yeah, that's my story, guys. It was very painful. I got over him after 9 years. So when I tell you guys to do something or to say something or to communicate, it's not coming from my studying or other people's things. It's literally coming from my heart. Like, I don't want you to go through what I went through, because it's not easy, it's not fun, it's not nice to go through it. You know what I mean? So I want you guys to know, understand, and internalize that I'm only here to give you things to make your relationship a better experience, to make your friendships a better experience, to make everything better for you. So yeah, hold on, let me check if I can find the message he sent me when he asked me to be his girlfriend. Some of these. Oh my god. Hold on. Anywho, I'll do a part 2 where I read some of the messages. So yeah, you guys need to realize that it's not everyone who comes into your life holding flowers and roses who is meaning to give you these flowers and roses in a good way. You guys need to realize that sometimes you need to stand your ground. You need to make sure that everyone who comes into your life knows the terms and conditions that come through with being with you. Don't give anyone the opportunity, the flexibility, and the power to walk in and out of your life when they feel like it's ample or it's okay for them to do so. When they feel like they are ready to walk in and out of your life, how about how you feel? Your feelings, your emotions, and don't you ever allow someone to give you that much emotional baggage. Okay, when I went through it, it was a lot. It was really a lot. And I feel like I went through it to stop some of y'all from going through it, because I can see that pattern in some of y'all. And I don't want you going through the same thing that I went through. And I keep saying this because it wasn't easy. It took me 9 years. For some people, it'll take 2 weeks, a month, a year. But for me, it was 9 years. And I don't want you to go through this for 9 years of your life, literally stagnant for 9 years. Like, I don't want that for you. Like, yes, I did have other relationships. There are moments I did forget about him. But it was just like it was in my heart. Every time I'd see him, every time I would meet up with him, a new spark would come through. And that's so toxic. Like, it's so toxic for me to carry on sort of like allowing myself to do the same thing for that period of time and just not realize that I was breaking myself. Like, there's so many people who would tell me that, sis, da-da-da-da, sis, da-da-da-da. And I'd just be like, no, y'all don't know. Because I was with him through the thickest and thinnest of roads. Like, there's so many things he used to go through that I would be the only person to be able to take it out of him. And he's not like the most open person. He's not that person who'd be like, oh my God, I'm going through ABCD. I would have to detect that he's going through ABCD. And after that, then I'd have to be like, okay, let's talk about it. And it would take so long for me to get it out of him. All the times he ghosted me, I would always make an effort to be like, okay, why did you ghost me? And he'd be like, oh no, something's going on. And it would literally take like 2 to 3 days for me to get out whatever it is that was going on in his life. And I don't want you to go through the same thing. Don't give yourself that extra responsibility to try to take care of somebody else's feelings. Because if you take care of his feelings and he's taking care of his feelings, who's gonna take care of your feelings? Certainly nobody, because you don't care about your feelings enough to take care of them. You're busy taking care of somebody else's feelings. Even if it's a girl, don't do it. Don't allow yourself to take care of somebody else's feelings when your feelings have nobody to take care of them, okay? Just don't do it. Just don't do it, period. And also, out of this, I just wanted to show you guys that, you know, like, an emotional tie doesn't only come, soul ties don't only come through from physical intimacy. They also come through emotional intimacy. And it's really hard to get rid of them, I know, but the Bible literally talks about so many ways you can get rid of soul ties. I'll do another video on soul ties and how to get rid of them, and Bible verses and encouragement and how to get rid of soul ties and stuff, probably on my Instagram, because that will be a little bit shorter than this one. And yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye.